Hi, welcome to the Architect of the Capitol. I'm George Washington, the first President of the United States. But today, I'll be your guide as we explore the history of the AOC here in my namesake city, Washington, D.C. We've been working to preserve our nation's history for more than 200 years, hoping to inspire others by our past, present, and future. During our tour, you can find me wearing our AOC Guide's famous red coat uniform. I figured I'd dress the part. We're about to cover a lot of ground. Don't wander off. Let's start at the beginning. Back in 1793, a man named William Thornton won a public competition for the design of the U.S. Capitol building. Today, he is credited as the first architect of the Capitol. Once the designs were complete, construction began. On September 18, 1793, I had the great honor of setting the building's cornerstone. This structure would house our young country's legislative branch and become a beacon of democracy for the whole world. To continue our tour, let's head toward National Statuary Hall. I'd like you to meet someone.
Good morning, George.
Hi, Thomas. I'm bringing these folks along for a historical tour of the AOC. Can you tell our friends what you're busy doing?
Your guests might know me as Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. But today, I'm helping out as a historic preservationist. At the AOC, these professionals maintain and preserve our heritage assets, from buildings and grounds to artwork and furniture. Right now, we're in one of the rooms designed by the second architect of the Capitol, Benjamin Henry Latrobe. I hired him back in 1803. He also constructed the old Senate chamber and the old Supreme Court chamber. He was a busy man.
Thanks, Thomas. You and the other preservationists have done a fantastic job. Unless you look closely, you'd never be able to tell that these rooms, and in fact the whole Capitol, once faced catastrophic damage when British troops set fire to the building back in 1814.
That's right. It was hard to believe we were at war with the British again so soon after establishing our independence, but you might want to talk to the Jameses to hear more. They're out back on the grounds.
He means President Madison and President Monroe. We founding fathers tend to get a little casual around here. Let's go find them.
Beautiful day, George. Is this your tour group?
It is indeed, President Madison. They're here to learn more about the history of the AOC. What was going on around the Capitol during your presidencies?
After the British invaded the city, we had a lot of work to do to repair the Capitol. Luckily, the third architect, Charles Bulfinch, was able to accelerate progress when he took over in 1818. By that point, my successor here, President Monroe, had taken office.
That's right. Bulfinch continued the restoration of the Capitol's two wings, which were reopened in 1819, designed the Dome Center building, and oversaw its construction. Bulfinch also planned the U.S. Capitol grounds.
It's a lot of work to keep up the grounds, which is why President Monroe and I offered to lend a hand today. The AOC's grounds team stays busy ensuring the vision of Frederick Law Olmsted, the founder of American landscape architecture and the designer of these grounds, remains intact today. He came along far after we founding fathers left office, but his influence is quite visible around the campus too.
After the Civil War, Congress commissioned Olmsted to come up with a plan for the enlarged Capitol grounds. He's also responsible for the Olmsted Terrace and the Summer House.
Now, the AOC takes care of 570 acres, ensuring the health and safety of each plant species. Well, we've got to get back to work. Enjoy the rest of your time here.
Wow! Thanks, President Monroe. We're going to our last stop, the Capitol Visitor Center. Go ahead and look around. These exhibits show how much change has occurred here over the years. In 1876, Congress established the AOC as a permanent office under the legislative branch of the federal government. In total, there have been 12 architects who've led the agency from its earliest days to the present. It's a large effort, but this team is proud to serve their country, as was I, and will continue to ensure it is preserved for future generations. I hope you enjoyed your tour around the Capitol campus and have learned something about its history. I've got to go pick up the next tour group, but come back and visit us again soon.